You leaned your head on the wall behind you, standing by Fat Gum's agency while waiting for the redhead, pulling the cap's brim over your eyes. You tried to breathe deeply through this tension that came in waves between your eyes, hoping the shade of the cap kept the light at bay at least. Yet every breath felt like a heave, burning your sinuses while the tension still persisted. You promised to make this session after work. You were elated even days before, until only a few hours ago, when the onset of this pinpoint pain suddenly flowed in waves. Your body slowly slid against the wall until you felt yourself sit on the ground, leaning your head between your knees to help ease the pain. You questioned how this precipitated in the first place, having made a few patrols in your district as per usual. But to no avail. All you could think of was the pain. At some point you couldn't tell how much time had passed sitting outside Fat Gum's agency, but a large hand pressed and squeezed your shoulder, shaking you gently from your painfully induced nap.
"Thumper? What's wrong?"
spoke a familiar deep voice. You didn't have the strength to lift your head, only groaning a reply while your head still hung between your legs.
"How long have you been out here?"
The voice asked again. That groan turned into a whimper, unable to stand the incessant knocking in your skull. Still, that hand did not leave, feeling it comfort your shoulder. Kirishima stood beside you, changed in casual wear after a day of patrol around Esaha City. He eyed the street, noticing his motorcycle still parked where he left it in front of the agency, yet turned to the state you were in. Taking you back to your place wasn't safe on his only mode of transport, and public transport alone wouldn't help either. Considering the options he had, he slipped both of his arms from under you without a word, lifting you up from the floor and taking you inside the agency. The sounds of the front double doors, the little chatter in the foyer, and Kirishima's steps that echoed against the floor only exacerbated that throbbing pain in your head. You dug your head deeper into Kirishima's neck, pressing into his skin as a means to an end. At this point you had no inkling what was going on, only that Kirishima had you, while he spoke to a few passers-by, including one Sun-Eater, who you could hear the confusion in his voice. A few doors passed by until Kirishima slowed his step, while he gently lowered you onto a bed that wasn't the plushiest thing in the world. Just the feel of the stiff mattress made you realize that he had taken you into the agency's med bay, while you still kept the cap on your head. Still, laying down on a bed relieved the tension a lot better than where you were moments ago.
"Thumper?"
spoke Kirishima, his hand back on your shoulder again.
"Can you hear me?"
"Yes," you groaned, relieving Kirishima a little.
"Oh, thank God,"
he sighed.
"What hurts?"
"Head."
"Do you want aspirin?"
"Yes." You wished you could say more, but one-word answers were the best you could muster with your eyes shut and your body weak. You heard shuffling in the room, succumbing to the feel of the cool mattress underneath you before you felt a large hand grab yours, rubbing its thumb against your skin.
"Come on, Thumper,"
coaxed Kirishima, encouraging you with his voice. You groaned again, slightly in protest, but your body moved against your better judgment. You weakly sat up, eyeing the glass of water and aspirin in Kirishima's hands before taking them. Without another word, you laid back in bed, pulling the cap over your face to hide away from the light in the room.
Sorry.
You whispered, still limp on the bed.
Huh? You don't need to be sorry.
Spoke Kirishima, earning a groan from you in response.
I'll stay here until you feel better. I could do with a nap anyway.
You only hummed in reply before you felt yourself start to drift into sleep. But not before you felt Kirishima's hands leave yours and heard the squeak of the bed next to you. You groaned from the sound of tugboats echoing in the distance while your head dug into the old sofa, attempting to hide your head away from the light that beamed from the windows above. For once, you wished it was an overcast or rainy day, but there was no cloud in sight, leaving you to wallow in the searing pain that ran up your spine. Your last resort was pulling the throw from the couch over your head to help with the light. But whatever this crippling pain was, it rendered you immobile. You were lucky to have asked Kaminari earlier in the morning about his medicine cabinet, admitting to him that you just suffered a headache. However, you shrugged it off as merely a headache. Hours later, it persisted, if not grew frighteningly worse. You even wondered through the pain what it would have felt like if you hadn't taken that morning dose of aspirin. The thought of it made you toss on the couch, eyeing the empty glass and the aspirin on the table in front of you from under the covers. Your head throbbed, your body was weak, and you hadn't had anything to eat for hours. And you were starving. Another groan mumbled under your breath before you tried to push yourself from the sofa, only lifting your head past its arms before blinding white pain shot up behind your head. You winced while you lowered yourself back onto the couch, back in hiding. Then, amongst the noise of the docks outside, the sliding door opened, causing you to curl into a ball. The pain throbbed and pierced into your skull, shutting your eyes despite the fact you hid under the large throw. A lot of scuffling mulled about in the apartment until you heard footsteps approach you.
Have you been here this whole time?
Asked Kaminari softly above the sofa. You hummed weakly, feeling some of the stress wash away after hearing his voice from under the covers.
Have you eaten anything?
He asked again.
No, I haven't left this spot.
You admitted.
Give me a minute.
Soon after a moment of quiet, you heard the rustling of plastic bags before a microwave was set to warm a meal. The sudden noises knocked at your head like nails, but the tolerance was bearable this time around, knowing you weren't alone. You drifted every now and then, until the smell of warm soup enticed your senses from under the throw. You peeked from the shadows, finding Kaminari sitting on the floor by the couch, with said concoction in his hands. His smile brightened upon seeing your face while he raised the bowl to you, eyeing you to emerge from your self-made prison.
Bet they wouldn't offer this star treatment back at the commission.
He piped softly with a grin. You chuckled to immediately hiss in pain. Even laughing was excruciating. You pulled the throat from yourself, staring only at Kaminari despite the light that shone around the lounge. Instinctively, he lifted the bowl and spoon to you, soon feeding you a few spoonfuls of the warm broth. You didn't protest to the offer while you gladly took the meal, feeling the warmth of it travel down your throat and satisfy the hunger you felt throughout the day.
Okay, I think you need to take my bedroom,
posed Kaminari while he placed the bowl away.
Get ready for a quick trip.
No, you don't have to.
You groaned, unaware of his actions until you felt his hand hold onto yours and along your back.
Come on, mon ange. It's darker in my room.
He coaxed with a smile despite your eyes being shut to tolerate the pain.
And you'll be more comfortable there.
You still persisted with your protest, with another groan, not wanting to move until Kaminari pulled you up from the couch, with some help thanks to you surrendering to his offer again. With every step up the flight of stairs to his loft, you nuzzled into his neck, noticing the light dim through your eyelids. The feel of his mattress and comforter pressed against your body, immediately relieving the tension and aches that you felt pierced into you moments ago.
Thank you.
You mumbled in your drowsiness, finding the curtains being pulled shut.
You're welcome. I'll grab you your food and aspirin, alright?
Reassured Kaminari while on his way out from the room.
Merci, Denki.
Kaminari stopped in his tracks. He turned his eyes towards you on his bed, having now gone quiet again while your head laid on his pillows. Did he hear you correctly? Surely you hadn't.
Nah,
he whispered to himself before turning back to walk down from his loft. Thank you for tuning in to a small, tinier headcanon this time round. If you enjoy what I do or would just prefer to fall asleep to my voice, please support me by hitting that like button, ringing that bell, and subscribing to my channel. Every little bit counts, and I'm very appreciative to all of you listeners out there. Thank you so much. I would like to just say that to be honest, I wasn't really going to continue with this kind of headcanon depending on, I guess, how I'm tracking. But I believe a question was posed sometime in the May I Ask videos whether I was going to continue with this or not with the other characters. And I guess because people have asked, I guess, for more of these headcanons, I guess it helps motivate me to write more for them. So I guess after Bakugo, Todoroki, and Midoriya's little snippets, I think they were released sometime earlier, I've just gone to write Kirishima Kaminari, and I will soon be writing up Sero's and Shinso's headcanons in regards to this kind of prompt. Thank you for visiting. I hope to hear from you soon, next we meet.